Next game, Raiders at the Steelers. The Raiders, big win this past week at the Steelers. Steelers favored by 5.5. Keith, I guess I'll start with you, the Raiders fan. Talk to me. How do you feel about this game? Total 47 as well.
So honestly, I'm still high. I'm still high off yesterday. Big win, big trust. We love them, but it was a big win. And I wanted to like the Raiders here. I literally had it as a like for the Raiders here, exclamation mark on the sheet. And then I sat and I was just like, this is exactly what happens every time. It happens every time. I honestly can't remember. I mean, we were I think like 6-4 last week, so we did it. But I can't remember last time we got 2 big wins in a row.
Yeah.
And this Steelers defense is kind of scary. Like they're not like a banged up Ravens team where we can stay in the game with some mistakes. We saw how they made a former playoff team, the Bills. You know what I mean? They capitalized on a couple of the mistakes, and they were able to win the game. We're a Raiders team who, although it was a big win yesterday, shown that we are very susceptible to mistakes. So I just don't see it. I'm gonna like the Steelers to cover the 5 at home, and no one to honestly care about this game. I'm gonna be crying. No one else is gonna care because it's gonna be what happens.
All right, Ron, what do you think about this one? The Raiders, Steelers favored by 5.5, total 47.
This is a very easy for a sports handicapper that knows what they're doing. This line screams Steelers. Raiders just beat number 2 or number 3 team in the AFC last year at home. A young Raiders team that still had the same flaws that they had last year: penalties, mishaps, and turnovers. Right?
But Derek Carr wanted to fumble. He wanted to fumble. He tried to sneak it in. What are you doing?
And slow starts. They started very slow last night. So let's not get caught up in the last 5 minutes of the game in which they found a way to pull it out, because there were some mistakes there made by Lamar Jackson. However, all that said, this line is way too steep for the performance that they just put on. They just beat the number 2 and number 3 best AFC team from last year. And now they're catching 5.5. The books aren't throwing you damn near a touchdown on a team that just showed up. They're not doing that. This line screams Steelers.
We didn't show up though, Rome. We didn't show up.
And that's my point. That is my point. That's why this line is 5.5. The look ahead was 5.5, and the line is now 5.5. No one at the book has been surprised, and that's why the line hasn't moved. That's why this line is the look ahead line. Yeah. But you know what this does? I think specifically in terms of the Raiders side, the best angle on this is the Raiders total team over. I think that offense could come out there and score some points. I don't think they're covering 5.5, and I think if they're not covering 5.5, they're passing late in the game, and they have more opportunities to score those points. The Steelers have a great defensive roster, but they do not use it well. They have linebackers in space checking slot receivers and all types of just crazy stuff schematically that doesn't work. So I'm not big on the Steelers win this past weekend on the road either in Buffalo, but I'm not even going to do that. So this line screams Steelers. If you want to side me, I like less liability and a better offense. Raiders team total over, and this is a stay away on the sides for me.
Yeah, I like where you started, Rome. I don't know about where you finished. Steelers, the defense doesn't work. I mean, they're one of the better defenses in the league. I mean, I know you're watching the film, but I just think this Raiders offense, they play well on the Monday Night Football. When you were talking earlier, I was like, yo, of course, this is definitely the way to bet the Steelers here is the way to go. Especially when you talk about the line not moving at all. But you know me, motivational P, try to pick out meticulous Mark P. I try to pick out these spots. I love to bet on the team or bet against a team that comes off a crazy high, crazy win that just, took over everyone's breath. Oh, these interviews after, people hitting your phone, you got to text back, all of that. I remember specifically after the Minnesota Miracle, Stephon Diggs a few years ago, I bet against them the following week against the Eagles. I just think it's a lot to rebound from. And then when we also talk about the Raiders, I'm just unsure about the receivers there. They made some plays late last night, Brian Edwards. So I saw that. I thought that was great, but I just think they were trying to get into a rhythm because he was missing the Aguilars of the world. So
Please. You
yeah,
trying
yeah.
to trigger me right now. He's specifically
the,
trying to trigger
the
me.
Steelers will, I think the Steelers will show up here. They're back at home. I do think it's a bit weary though for the Steelers. I mean, I think the line should go up to 6. So if it just stays at 5.5 the entire week, there is something on the Raiders, but I'm gonna like the Steelers here minus the 5.5, especially when I look at the fact that under Derek Carr, the Raiders are 18 and 28 against the spread after a win. So I'm gonna go against those numbers and a good defense. And back to Steelers here. Soundman, what do you think?
Just change it from a stay away to just a like on the Steelers. I think just hearing what you guys had to say just made a lot of sense. A very, very hype win for the Raiders. You're coming off a big high. You're playing another team in the AFC North, and it's the Steelers who have an even better defense. I'm just gonna actually I just said it like I'm gonna lean with the Steelers here. I wouldn't bet it, but I'm gonna lean with the Steelers here, just because the Raiders just did something they shouldn't have done yesterday.
Yeah, I don't know if the Raiders are going to throw for 409 on the Steelers, so I'll take the under on that.
I love watching Darren Waller get 19 targets as well.
That's how you get a playmaker involved and you get your best players the ball. What the Titans did not do this weekend, what the Ravens did not do this weekend, what the Packers did not do this weekend.
I love every second of it.
All right, next